maybe make an add to it, but yeah, let me see. It should come up right now. Hold on, I'll pop it up on stream. Oh, there it goes. So, got it going. So there's a sure. Good.
We're not live yet, though, right?
Oh yeah, we're live. I mean, they can hear you, right? Right, Dale? You can hear us. I hope you can hear us. So, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go grab a couple things.
Yeah, you got about 10 minutes. You're good.
Camera.
Absolutely, you're 100% good.
I had to refresh. Here we are.
Awesome, Dale.
I'm a child.
First, even though Dale, yeah, that's all right.
Hey, put his Twitch up there, will you?
Yeah, I just did. Here, I'll do it again.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I wasn't.
No problem at all. Let me get my next. I missed my key there, but that's all right. Hold on. Boom.
I can't wait to see him paint the overboard. That's gonna be. Oh, that's gonna be something else.
It'll be awesome.
That's gonna be something else. I'll tell you. Did you see the one that Reiner72 did and sent to me?
No, I didn't. Was it good?
Oh wow, this thing it's out of control, gorgeous. I can't even show you on the camera. You know, it won't do it any justice. Let me see if I can do it though. Let me see if I can do it. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Taryn. Oh, that's nice too.
Look at that.
Awesome. Awesome.
We have to figure out a way to complicate the paint scheme on it, though. Because I can't just paint them all orange.
You can't paint them all orange. It's exactly right. You're exactly right. You got to switch them up.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You're a little fuzzed. You're fuzzy.
Yeah, well, I don't have a mic, so it's just off my webcam.
Oh man, it's Bill. It's kind of bad though. I mean, it's like that. Is it?
Let me reconnect.
Reconnect and maybe turn down the gain on it a little bit.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's real poppy and
Yeah.
like Jay said, fuzzy
He's reconnecting.
and loud.
Yeah.
Loud.
Whew. We're good on time.
Jay,
Yeah, no
good.
problem. Taryn. What's up, Mike? I turned it.
Did you see that though? That
Yeah.
that overboard is unbelievably gorgeous.
So he painted that and you have it? He sent it to you?
Yeah, he sent it to me.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. That's really nice. All right, let's see if this works this time.
I can't wait to see you paint that up tomorrow. I'm gonna watch you. I stream from 9 till. Oh, wait a minute. Tomorrow's Monday. I don't stream. Never mind. Usually it's 9 to noon, but yeah, I'm gonna watch it paint him up.
You gotta remember to get it out and get it soaking and cleaned up and primed when we're done here.
How you gonna prime them to start off? Are you gonna do them all one solid color, or are you gonna do a zenithal, or?
No, I just usually just black primer all the way across.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
He's something else to build, I'll tell you that.
Can you hear me now? Is that any better?
That's a little better, yeah. No cracking there now. So.
Right. Yeah, there was an update that I had to run, so.
Yeah, that's much better. You got the slight like echo from the room, but that's normal, so you're good.
Yeah, I don't have a mic. I don't have a headset, so.
Very cool. Hopefully everyone's good here tonight. Once again, this new time slot being 30 minutes early, not everyone is 100% remembers all the time. Mymore, Lord Forth, Biggie Paul, good to see you all. Hopefully everyone's good. Let me do some Gamescape here. So we're gonna have a mix of Gamescape and Infinite Dimensions on the layout. I'm gonna show some of that tonight. I kind of sneak peeked it on Twitter. Some of the terrain Bill's been building for the Mysteries of the Overlord game coming up Thursday.
Yeah, if not, just grab the pictures off Instagram. I put some up today.
Hey,
Absolutely.
how many prints do you have left of the Overlord?
Let me take a look there. 1
So I was
second.
thinking hopefully you'll be able to give one away on the, your Overboard stream.
Well, remember, we're gonna have we're gonna run into the next 2 Thursdays. I don't want to squeeze it into a one shot. It's like in
okay.
I figure the 2 Thursdays in between, Halloween, right? Because of the date. So there was no reason for me to rush this game into a one shot. Let me count how many I got here.
I hope they're ready for a TPK.
No, you gotta remember, my guys
Okay.
cheat.
You guys cheat. Why are you letting cheat, man?
No, I'm kidding.
Jay cheats, not us.
I got 5, and 2 of them are going away tonight. So, what's up, Yaga? Hope you're well.
Dr. Faust again, thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, it's going to be I'm excited about this discussion. It's always great to have a fantastic guest on.
I'm still waiting for the check that I was promised. That said it was in the mail.
Oh, I guess that means I got to pay Ed Greenwood then too, doesn't it?
Jay, yeah, you gotta pay them all. Pay the man. Ching.
Well, we're hopeful that these kind of streams really grow the community with, both, D&D and the crafting community together.
Well, they've always been one, haven't they? I mean, they've always been, to me, it's always been one. Because honestly, my first thing when I saw D&D books was the artwork, was reading. I couldn't understand the rules, that's for damn sure, It was the artwork that brought me in.
Yeah,
so it's really
absolutely.
it's always been pretty much one. To me, at least.
I think nowadays it could be a discussion for the stream, but I think a lot of you can get pre-paints pretty easy nowadays.
Well, we can, all this is open
Splits.
for discussion tonight, which is great. So we can talk about whatever you 3 gentlemen want to talk about, which is cool. So welcome everyone. 100, episode 168 of Gabbin. Oh.
168, holy
Yes,
cow.
this is the 168th Gab. We're up to 123 on Legends of Lore this Wednesday, and of course, Mike, this Thursday's adventure is number 930. Session seating roughly 3,000. That's a guess.
930
adventures. So. I know it's mind-boggling, isn't it?
How many players have you killed?
It's killed or permanently killed. There's a big difference. Like I can name a character like
Hundreds of deaths.
Alan's character Arcturus, his archer cleric, has died 12 times. Right? I think he had 16 con. It went down to 8, and it went back up from a deck of the draw deck. Then went back down to 8 again. I think it was like he had 16 deaths. But permanent deaths is probably in the realm of 200, maybe a little less than that. You know, and D&D with resurrections, raised deads, regenerates if you can get them. It kind of.
And we're liberal with them too.
Yes.
Resurrections.
What's the fun in that and permanently killing off your, people's characters? You know, it's not like I need any more power to go to my head, right, Bill? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a really.
We're just talking about Jay's power trip.
Welcome to a really fun Gabbin tonight. We're gonna discuss painting and crafting techniques, and I got 3. What would be an understatement? Geniuses of painting, crafting, and making items that can only enhance your game. Whether it's D&D, Warhammer, whatever game, 40K, whatever game you're playing. And with me, everyone knows I got Bill the Master Crafter with me, who does all of the work on our table, and I got the legendary art of Mike Disney with us, who is one of the sponsors of this channel as well. And Mike's been on multiple times. And let's welcome first our
crafter and a player.
Yes, yes, and he gets to play with Greenwood in a week and a half. Actually, it's 2 weeks from yesterday. He gets to play on November 6th. He actually gets to play next.
And I can't wait. I cannot wait.
That's it. I got to get you that character too.
Can I drop out of this stream and go into that one?
I know, isn't that pretty cool? And Eric Mona's playing now too in that, the director Paizo as well. So it's just like going to be a wonderful, wonderful game there. But with us, and thank you so very much, is Dr. Faust, who runs Dr. Faust's painting clinic on both YouTube and Twitch. So I apologize for only having here on your shout out your Twitch channel. But if anyone else wants to link out your YouTube, please do that as well. Thank you very much for coming. And we'll start with you, Dr. Faust. Tell us a little about yourself and how you got into the industry, and we'll roundtable all 3 of you with that introduction.
Oh, good Lord. Put me on the spot right to begin with.
Sure.
You want the short or long version?
Whatever you're comfortable with, because really, thank you for coming on. And we want, please promote yourself as much. This community, it's all about promotion of everyone. So please feel free.
All right. So I'll give you the long version, I guess.
Yeah.
So I started D&D when I was a kid, like probably all of you here, and painting the miniatures was part of it. And that kind of went off and on for a bit. That's back when, to date myself or age myself, we used to get paint with the testers, enamel paints that were 19 cents at the Gemco. That's how we started off with. Yeah. Painted on and off for a bit, and then kind of stopped playing D&D and stopped. I continued painting miniatures after I stopped playing D&D for a while, but then stopped. And then I discovered Warhammer, which was like the clouds parting and the heavens opening up. It's like, wait, instead of 1 miniature, I get to paint hundreds? So wasn't the brightest decision, but it was like, I thought it was really cool having hundreds of miniatures. That led to horribleness, but eventually, kept painting off and on, and eventually I started the Dr. Faust painting clinic when I finally got on the internet during the AOL days, mainly because there was an extreme lack of painting advice on the internet. All I could find was, you could find articles and blogs on dry brushing, washing, and gluing flocked miniatures, and that was about it. And at that time, even I wanted to learn more, but it's like, I already know all this. I know more than what's here. So decided to start Dr. Faust Painting Clinic in the AOL members, whatever it was.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where it started from. And then it just kind of morphed and ebbed and flowed, and eventually I moved it to YouTube, and it all ended up here with you.
So thank you for coming on tonight and sharing your wisdom with the audience and with the community here. the evolution from YouTube to now to Twitch, has it been a smooth road, bumpy road, bizarre and crazy road like it is with most of us? What do you think about the way we can reach our audience now?
Well, to be honest, the reason why I started doing Twitch is because I was stuck home for a year due to COVID. And when you go like 2 weeks without speaking to a single person, wanted to reach out somewhere other way. It's okay, I have the time, so let me start up on Twitch, which I was playing around with earlier, but then I forget when, June, April of last year, I decided to start doing it just to get some contact with people and, do more painting. And it's been interesting because having people watch you while you work forces you to work. So it's gotten me to paint a lot more and improve my painting and hopefully improve other people's painting at the same time.
Well, that's great to hear, because I think what I've seen with our game and all, and Bill will talk about this, is that just from Bill watching a lot of other, Bill's come a long way, right, Bill?
Yeah, my figure painting hasn't gotten much better, but my terrain building has.
Well, I don't know about that. I think figure painting's come really improved, and since for 15 years ago. I mean, my gosh.
Well,
yeah, I think it's fantastic, and we'll talk about that level of painting and level of what you want to actually put on the table, is another important thing. So, well, that Dr. Faust, that's fantastic, and I'm glad that you decided to stream on Twitch, and it seems to be going very well for you. You got a fair number of followers, and it seems you got a great following and audience. And we'd love to hear some of your wisdom tonight. And thanks for coming on. So, Mike, everyone knows you, Mike. Tell us a little about yourself.
Like you said, most of the people here already know me because I've either been on your games or I've been on your show here quite a few times now. But my name is Mike Disney, to those who don't know me, and I'm a big fan of Dr. Faust and of Bill, the Master Crafter, both of these geniuses here with me this evening. And that's right now I'm just a streamer on Twitch and a big show off and a big know-it-all. And I just love to play Dungeons and Dragons. That's what all of this is about, for me at least, is D&D. I love the game. It is my passion, and there's a lot of things that I think that art has brought me into the game with. The miniatures and the art in the books, and there's just a lot of avenues of creation around the game, and it's a lot of passion for me, and means a lot to me. So this of course, this game coming up, not to rub the salt in anybody's wounds, but this game coming up with Ed Greenwood is just that's like a dream come true right there. So
you asked, and I said sure, and you brought the idea, Mike. So everyone knows Ed Greenwood has an adventuring group called Two Drink Minimum in my campaign with Eric Mengi, who can't make it, and Tony Winslow Brill, who's written for WotC, and Eric Boyd, the legend of writing especially priests and gods for Forgotten Realms and Greyhawk, and this time Eric Mona, and we're rotating in a special guest to each sitting, and each session is going to be like every 3 to 4 months. So Mike's the first extra guest that we have for this, and so it was your idea, Mike, and we're running with it. So,
nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. You need to give me a name for your dwarf, though. Your dwarf fighter, who's going to be in the group still. So
Skarn Wolfmaster.
You can't name another guy Skarn. A second Skarn. You got to Skarn in my campaign. You got to name him. So
George Foreman did it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So another whatever. Just if you want to mix up the letters, that's fine. So tonight, everyone, for who's watching, we're going to give away 2 of these. Signed art of Mike Disney, Overlord prints. Okay, and it's already set up.
I gotta get that on a shirt.
So it's a good idea too.
I want it on a hoodie and have it right on the side of the hood. You know what I mean? Right on the side of the
your hood up. You are the Overlord.
There you go.
Yeah, so Paul John, yeah, there. Paul John's Life said Naraks, N-R-A-K-S. There you go. Scrawling backwards.
There you go.
All right, if you want to do it, I'll do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, I
that's
like
got
that.
very Gygaxian.
That's very Gygaxian to do that. So
I like that.
that fits right in there. So 2 of those we're going to give away at the end. You got to be on to claim them, and I will send them right out to you both. Both of those tomorrow. So, Dr. Faust, keep them up because I want to ask you something about this about them.
Oh.
They're beautiful. Those were especially
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the shading and all. Please, Bill, the master crafter.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody, if you watch Jay's show, you know who I am. You don't normally see me on camera. This is emotional see me. Yeah, I mean, I've been painting and terrain building for Jay's game for, since the mid-90s. Never really, terrain has been only the last really 6 or 7 years since you moved to the bigger basement. And it's come a long way.
See, he doesn't even know. 2013, so it's 8 years.
8 years, okay.
8 years we've been in there,
Okay,
but we had
older, I'm losing track of time.
We had the 8x8 table at the other house, but we just didn't have 3D printing was nothing back then, and we really were still not using Monster Mini. We started right around that time, a little bit before that, when the D&D miniatures came out, the pre-painted plastics. We never had painted monsters before. We just had painted figures for characters. We had a box of metal miniatures. Did anyone ever do that? You got a full box of, and we call them the fishy box. And you just pulled them out, and whatever they were, they represented orcs, or they represented goblins, or manticores, whatever, because you just didn't have monster miniatures.
Didn't have the variety.
Yeah, Mike, the variety wasn't there. I mean, Ralph Parthers were out there with some monsters, but they look like big pieces of lead for the most part, right? So Dr. Faust, when did you start painting monster miniatures, that were beyond the character miniature?
Sorry, like in what?
Like dragons and when do you think that really started? 2010, a little bit before that? They really started coming out with really nice monster miniatures out in the market, because back then it was mostly Ralph Parthers that really had the good ones, that had any at all, of monsters, and they just didn't look great.
Well, because of Warhammer, I think I've been painting monsters for since I started then, which was 2000 or something like that. Of course, with the Reaper Bones, it's great because with we can get bigger things now that we finally really moved away from metal. So you have dragons that are actually 2 scale or even larger, rather than the little 2-inch ones that we had back in the day. So
speaking of that
makes them more.
Speaking of that, look what the first picture I have up in big. And this is yes, this is a Reaper Bones, correct? Or is that a metal? Yeah.
No, that's Bones.
Yes, absolutely. So
that's Denki the dragon.
It is. It's beautiful as far as you can look here, and you can see the different levels of coloring and shading here of blues. So
it doesn't come out too well in the picture, but every single color is based in green. There's a green tinge. The black scales, the brown wings have a green tone shading in them. The front is yellow green because it's supposed to be a swamp dragon, black dragons. Right. I wanted green in everything.
Very cool.
No,
subtle touches of it.
Was this done for yourself, commission, or for pleasure on stream?
Pretty much everything I do is for myself.
Okay.
I do whatever I want. I really hate doing commissions for the most part.
Okay.
Painting something for yourself, you get better results, I think, than if you do it for somebody else.
Plus, it's a beloved hobby, right?
Yeah, especially when they put very strict conditions on you about what you they want, and even if it's bad ideas, you still have to do it. It's very, very difficult.
Look at the eye on this. I mean, the detail on it, just getting the eye and the eyelid being like a different, 2 different shades there. I mean, it's fantastic. So here's my first question to all 3 of you, and then we'll take round table if you guys want to ask each other, or we go into some specific topics. What is something you think is your trick of the trade that you have, like you do, that's your niche, or something, a technique, an idea that helps you and is really something you've created? Whether it could be something you've learned from someone else too. Who wants to take that up first? Bill?
Well, I think everything I've done, I've stolen from somebody else. It's there's nothing that I do that's really original, other than the concepts and what I come up with. But the techniques,
I beg to
I'm still learning techniques.
I beg
to be honest.
100%. I beg to differ on that. I'm going to tell you what you do that no one else out there is doing. And even Infinite Dimensions Games mentioned it in in the post. You are basing the 3D miniatures, right? The terrain pieces, and they're like no one else is really basing them like you are, right? So, and I'm going to show this.
And that goes, I mean, there's things that I want to do, and there's things I want to continue to do. Townhouses, farms, and that sort of thing.
Like this. I mean, look at that when it's based up and all the extra pieces about here, statues that are added, just wonderful things. It's not just the 3D print now; it's got a full base on.
We don't use gaming boards like especially Warhammer, Mordheim,
hey Josh,
Warcry, and that stuff. You see more battle boards. And that's really not what we do. So this is at least one way we can fill up the table and keep it detailed without filling up a board. But I'm going to try building my first board for maybe next year. So we'll see how that goes.
Bill's really stepping up with some ideas that we're going to run with for 2022. Trying to always plan ahead. And let's be honest. I don't make life easy on Bill. So we got concepts we're going out. We know that we're having this during GaryCon, and then we had to get this printed. We had to get it put together, and it was like a 3-4 month process. And it's under a time constraint to get this stuff on the table for when we play a game. So I'm very appreciative.
Yeah, and I don't do this full time, so it's
right, exactly. So that's what you do. I mean, your basing on these pieces is fantastic. I could show a whole bunch of other ones as well, and I probably will later on in the show. But that's what I think. You're very wonderful. How about you, Mike?
Well, I am awestruck looking at that dragon right now. So that dragon is gorgeous. Did a wonderful job on that. But I haven't created anything. I have created a circle of fun around me, I think, if I can say anything. But I haven't created anything. I'm a follower.
Bullshit.
Mike,
you created a whole legendary item, legendary creature for D&D.
That was through an illustration, though.
It doesn't matter, Mike.
Technique, but.
Mike, think about it. So think about this. All right, you got a miniature. You created, that came up with a concept and an illustration. You got artwork. You have stats on this monster, right?
That's true.
It went from sober to realized.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've actually created an entire cult following genre on this. And look at how many. I mean, if you go on the Reaper site, look at how many posts are for the Overlord picks, right? I mean, think about that.
You gave birth to a pumpkin.
Yeah. There you go.
Absolutely. Hey, David Leonard, good to see you, man, tonight. So that is, I don't ever want you to say you're a follower, Mike, because you're not, because this was a wondrous thing. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on, too. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you very much.
No problem. So, Dr. Faust, how about you? I mean, look at the faces on those busts. Oh my gosh,
they're beautiful. They're gorgeous.
Unbelievable. So,
well, I'm the layering guy, so I would say that using the layering method.
Okay.
Which I'm kind of shocked not as many people use as I thought when I learned it. If you don't know, if you're out there, layering is basically using thin, transparent layers of paint to slowly build up your highlights so you have no brush strokes. And sometimes it's confused with glazing. Some people call it glazing, but that's a different term for me. And interesting thing, I'll tell you, when I was trying to practice painting, there were really no books. I learned from historical painters because there was the Southern California Area Historical Modeler Society, which is where I learned from. And I learned from them how to paint. I try to paint more realistic. and there was like 2 books you can buy, and none of them were on acrylics because acrylics were still new back then. But I actually sort of invented layering on my own. I figured it out until I read it later on. I was like, oh, it was an interesting thing. It was like, Columbus discovering America. It's like, I invented this thing, and you find out, oh, it's actually a thing, but I found it on my own, which was interesting, I thought.
Oh, that's very
So,
cool.
yeah.
So I have to ask this question because we always go back to, you said testers, and that's what we started with. And we usually painted with toothpicks back in the day in the 80s because you didn't have those small brushes. And then we found the Tamayas, right? They were at the hobby store. What was your first acrylic paint you used?
That was actually Poly S.
Okay.
And it was actually interesting because with the enamels, I had to figure out how to use them, because you cannot paint enamels over enamels because it eats through. So I would put down a base coat of enamel and then give it an enamel wash, and you could only get 1 layer on it, or it would eat through. Then when I picked up polys, I tried them, and I almost threw them in the trash because I didn't understand at the time acrylics work differently. So that enamel painting method did not work with the acrylics. So I actually bought them, tried them once. They went in the closet for like a year until I heard now people are actually using acrylics now, and I had to practice with them and relearn how to paint, essentially. And that's when I came up with the layering method.
Very cool. And of course, David, and I guess that was always out in paintings, right? As far as miniatures, because it's on a 3D surface, I guess there was some different thoughts as to how that would work. So that wasn't too bad of a first question, right? That wasn't bad at all, right?
It was awful. I'm leaving.
Yeah, pretty terrible.
Second question, and my last one, and then if the audience has some, or if you guys want to ask each other, an inspiration from the industry that you really look up to, or that taught you a lot, and how you're doing your craft. Who wants to take that up first?
Oh, that for me is easy. James Wapple.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's Kathy. Is that Kathy Wapple's husband?
Yep.
Okay. Is he still streaming? Or I know Kathy is. Okay.
Yeah, Wappalicious is what he goes under on Twitch. Yeah.
There's James Wapple, Lester Bursley. There's a couple more is streamers.
Les isn't streaming, is he?
Les doesn't stream anymore. I wish he did. I really do. I miss him so much. But that was he was back in the Marnius Calgard days. Remember that guy too, Doctor?
Yeah, because I know Les, and he got a job somewhere. I haven't talked to him in years.
Yep, yeah, I haven't talked to him in about 2 years. It's been so.
Okay.
But yeah, those two are real big influences on me. But Bohun is another influence. I love that guy's free hand and all his micro scratches he does. The guy is just he's otherworldly. And then Carol Rudick, he is another one who I'm very, very fond of. That just blows my mind. The guy sculpts, he paints, he does it all, and that's what I like to I like to dabble in everything, but those guys are just, I don't know what happened to them when they were children, but there's something going on with them. Aliens.
Very cool. How about you, Bill?
I mean, well, mine is I've been more centered on the terrain stuff recently. So, I mean, the guys that I really follow now, Luke's APS does some great stuff. Neil over at Real Terrain Hobbies is probably my favorite right now. I mean, he does some fantastic stuff. Black Magic Jeremy at Black Magic Craft does great stuff. Terrain Tutor Mel in England does some great stuff. I mean, as for painters, I mean, I was really late coming to Twitch and YouTube, really watching things. I found Dr. Faust about a year ago, and his Witch Hunter, which was a Reaper Crusader mini, got me hooked about a year ago. And Mike, I picked up through, I guess it may have been Jacob Jansen who got us started watching Mike. So I mean, they're the big ones I watched. James Wapple's unbelievable. There's some great people out there, and you pick up stuff wherever you go. So it can't hurt to watch streams.
So true. Very cool. So Cathay says that Les had some great wash recipes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And Wylock does some cool terrain. Another.
Yeah, Wylock. Yeah. He was off for a while. Wasn't doing them, but he's back doing terrain again. And if you're just beginning, DM Scotty at DM's Crafting. He's great place to start.
And that. So what do you got there?
Terrain.
What do you got there? Wow.
It's terrain.
It's
a house.
I love that too. I love the
With chicken legs.
characteristic of it. Everything.
Oh, so there it is. It's another Baba Yaga's hut version almost.
Yeah.
Oh, another Reaper mini.
This is a 3D print, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a 3D
Yeah,
print.
Yep. The one from Reaper's a little bit larger than that
okay.
one. That's a nice size. What's up, Ever Mysterious Tim? So Becky says RP Archive does some amazing stuff too. Anyone follow them as well? So question. As far as, and I know this is going to come up because I know Josh, NPC Voices, who plays on Blue Box's streams himself, and also played, Brim during the Grand Melee during GrailCon on our channel. He was looking, and he had some Twitter posts today about 3D printing, and wanted to know a couple of recommended printers. And I gave him the ones that we use, which is an Ender 3 and 5. We got the 3 up running,
Mars.
and the Elegoo Mars is another one we have. So the Elegoo Mars is, another one. So, Dr. Faust, what do you use as far as
Elegoo Mars?
There's Elegoo Mars. He just listed up. Tom, thank you for that, man. 5 gift subs. Wow, that was really kind of you.
I've only been printing for like a year. One of my Patreon people was actually very nice. Let me borrow a 3D printer because I really didn't want one. He's like, try it out. So I did. I'm like, okay, I'm getting one. I wish I got it earlier, but I got a Anycubic Mono, which works pretty well. I'm happy with it.
Awesome.
Pretty new in it.
It's put together and assembled. We just got our curing station, and now I got to start messing with it.
Yeah, so we got an Elegoo Mars, and I want to shout out, and I'm going to do it right now, is that was actually a gift from Jeremy Gosser. I remember, Mike, we had him on, the owner of Gamescape 3D, actually gave us that printer. So thank you, Jeremy.
Cool.
Yeah, because he wants a lot of his dressing. He wants done in, it gets more detail. So that was very kind of him. Oh, look at that! We're almost hype trained already. Wow, thank you. So
wheelbarrows.
Yeah, really some neat stuff. So Anycubic, give us a rough cost, Dr. Faust, a rough cost on that, because I know a cost is a lot of. That's out. Is it 200, 500?
Oh no, it's I forget what I paid. It was like 220 or something. I think it was,
Okay.
it was 250.
Yeah, they're like around $200.
Okay.
It's probably cheaper now because they just got their like 4K model.
You can
went to Kickstarter.
You can actually get one of the beginner unit ones that aren't 4K for like 150 now.
So our Bill, talk about our creality. The 3 we're using more than the 5 right now. So
the 5 I kind of burned it out in a year and a half. Because we ran a lot of prints, so now I'm running the 3 pretty much. I finished the print ahead of time, and so I'd be done today because it's next to me.
Okay.
And I didn't want that running in the background, but yeah, I mean the Ender 3 is a great machine. I have no problems with it. I've been running it constantly for a month now. This is the longest it's been off in like 3 hours now, since in the last month or so.
We got that right around $200.
Yeah, they're not bad at all.
Yeah. Show us real quick some of the things that are like the Riverbeds, because I'm assuming, do you have them right there?
Yeah, they're kind of dark.
That's all right. Just so you get an idea and how long it's printing. I'm trying to help out with the audience, and we'll talk about the resin.
Yeah, so these are the Riverbeds. These are 2 of the straights, and these are like about a 10. Let's see, this one's an 11-hour print. This one's a 10-hour print.
Cool. So there you go. So it gives you some options. That's about the average for. So, Dr. Faust, are you running a resin printer as well?
Yes, at the Anycubic mono.
Oh, the Anycubic resin. I apologize. So, tell the audience the advantage of the huge advantage of the resin over the PLA when it comes to multiple pieces on the printer.
Okay. Well, I've never owned a PLA. This is basically my first one. I'll tell you that I was kind of reluctant to get into 3D printing, but now it's great. It's like one of my favorite materials to work with. I don't know if I have an example here, but the great thing about 3D printing is usually when you're doing a miniature in any other material, it's still a two-piece mold. So you have a lot of dead space areas that need to be filled in, like underneath cloaks or dresses or something like that. And with the 3D printing, you could leave those areas hollow, which is a real nice touch. So you actually get better detail in some ways than any other molded material process.
And also, you can, the time is a lot shorter because you can print multiples right off of it. Because as Bill says, the print point is the entire base is the print point, as opposed to a PLA when it's running, almost like an old typewriter in 3D. So,
yeah, I mean, I think an average miniature is less than 3 hours if it's not anything that's like super tall. The longest print. Oh, here, I got an example for you. This took about 24 hours to print.
Oh, nice. Wow. How many pieces?
It's several pieces. It's like 8 or so pieces, but of course I had to print them like straight up. So it's really tall, so it takes a long time. And it's got gaps everywhere because I used the pre-supports, which were terrible.
We hear that a lot about whether it should be supported or unsupported. Mike, what do you always support all your resins prints?
Oh, all my resins have been supported. I haven't printed. The only thing I printed that didn't require supports were the test prints. Was like a piece. It was a rook from a chess piece. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I've ever printed without supports. Everything has always been supported.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking Ender 3s. If you buy a standard Ender 3 version 1, they're less than $190 now.
And also, they're not taxable, right? Because of the setup on them, because they're duty free if you order them from
I'm just looking at Amazon, but
I think they're taxable on Amazon, but if you order them from the Creality site, they're not taxable.
They're not taxable,
right?
Yeah, it's duty free. Yeah.
How has that changed all of your what you're painting, and has it taken away from, and this has always been my concern, has it taken away from the charm of the miniature companies like Dark Sword, Reaper, and any of the other ones with 3D prints, or has it enhanced it because now you're looking more at the offerings? I know that's a tough question.
I still buy miniatures. That's the most I can say, just because that looks cool, I'll buy it. I'm glad that I don't have to add to the closet space as I buy more STL files. So that's one good thing.
True.
So storage, not much of a problem.
Yeah, it's print on demand.
Yeah, I'm with the doctor. I still buy miniatures, so
we all do. Reaper's been such a great company, and there's some other ones out there. And I made one grievous error today. I did not, Bill, and I apologize. I did not take pictures of your Cyborg Dwarves, and I was going to, and I forgot. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Because so we've been Bill's been looking at some other ones, like Cyborg is some great new. All different things, but their dwarves are fantastic, and
Cyborg's dwarves are incredible. Yeah,
and they are from what, Poland, or are they?
Poland.
Poland. Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, and he's got a bunch of new fantasy stuff coming out. It's very Witcher based that just came out. Humans that are really nice as well.
Very cool.
I actually did. I had a student in Poland a couple months ago, And I really wish that I remember how he pronounced cyborg, because it's not pronounced anything like that. Apparently,
Chiba or something like that.
something like that. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
We've always there's certain companies we've gravitated to, and we started out back in the day gravitating toward the dark sword, and then we found out about how the relationship that dark sword had with Reaper. And then that's how the relationship came with Reaper, and that's how we kind of got into the crafting community overall. And they do such a wonderful thing. So, Dr. Faust, what you were showing there, why don't you go over some of those for us, and where you can find any of them, or if they were a miniature, who's the miniatures, and some techniques you used on those. And then, Mike, I'm going to bring up some of your picks, and we'll do the same thing.
Well, most of these are 3D prints. I
Okay.
can't, off the top of my head, I can't
Wow,
tell
look
you
at
the
that.
exact manufacturer, but it's My Mini Factory. This is basic layering,
Look at
as I
that.
mentioned earlier. Again, same thing with the barbarian 3D print layering. This is actually.
Go back to that shield. Wow. Okay. Wow. So I love the hue change from light to dark on the top to bottom. That's fantastic. That is really cool.
This one is actually this
He-Man.
plug. This video is coming out today on how to paint this on YouTube. But this is actually by Archon Studios, which is kind of confusing. There are two He-Man miniature games coming out relatively at the same time. One is USA only, and the other one I think is rest of the world or UK only. And this is the UK version, which one of my fans actually sent me. I usually don't accept gifts. And then he showed me what he wanted to send me. I was like, oh, okay. So I have this in Skeletor.
I got really excited when I thought that was Thunder the Barbarian at first, and I realized it was He-Man. So, but that's cool.
And this I actually painted last week on Twitch. This is another 3D print, which is actually a free file. So I had a little paint along on my stream. This uses a few different techniques. This is something with the metallics that I say invented, but I'm sure people have done it before. But I play around with mixing metallics with non-metallic paint to get rid of some of the sheen with metallics. And this is a heavy version of it. This is a mix of metallic and non-metallic with a lot of glazing over it. So you just get a slight sheen where you reapply the metallic on the edges.
I think that looks extremely realistic. With
it does.
That is,
the age and wear and tear on it, just amazing technique right there.
Definitely.
And this is actually what I call low dexterity painting. There's no layering here. There's no precise application. This is a lot of dry brushing and slapping on glazes.
Yeah, so, being sloppy, love it.
Anyone could do this theoretically. So, and even the stippling here. This is just a lot of stippling, which is just stabbing with a brush. Okay. So, low dexterity painting.
So, for the audience, explain stippling. It's just dabbing with a dry brush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, it's just there's different ways to do it. You can use a big brush or a small brush, but it's just painting with dots essentially. Actually, I have another example of that here.
Yeah, please do.
A little bit clearer one. So,
nice.
The back of his cloak there. It's if you don't like layering, stippling goes quite quick and it adds texture to the piece and makes it just visually more interesting, and it's easier to do.
So I noticed you are playing a lot in there, which looks fantastic with artificially assuming where light is hitting that cloak as far as light and dark areas. You got the dark in the recesses of that cloak. Is that what you're attempting to do there? Now, I'm no artist at all. So
it's overhead lighting, which is now called zenithal lighting, which I really hate because people change names.
Okay.
But it's basically how highlighting usually want to work is roughly have a sun over you, and you shade things that are in shadow and you highlight the rest, and that gives you your depth. You use contrast to create depth on the miniature. And so this is basic overhead lighting technique, as opposed to object source lighting, which is someone holding a torch or something like that. So you have light coming off from the side. But yeah, that's the basic premise. Is usually I tell people, you start off here, and then when you finally do your final highlights, you should be looking straight down at the miniature and highlighting the most prominent areas, which is a very rough guide. With here, you have a little bit more depth to the cloak, so we do have to add more shade there to make it look a bit more dynamic.
It's so cool. I mean, it really adds so much realism to the miniature, showing that it's like he's moving and you can just see him in the folds.
It's painting is all about contrast. That's all it is.
Okay. So what would you suggest to someone starting out technique wise, how to get started? Just making some basic paintings that they could be proud of in a miniature, a technique that they could start with.
Well, the first step I used to tell people is just concentrate on base coats. You do one color per area on the miniature and go from there, and just paint the whole thing that way. The next step would be to start using washes, because washes are very easy to use.
Okay.
Then from there, once you figure out how to thin washes properly, you should be able to work on at least one highlight. And so it's kind of like baby steps.
Okay.
With my technique with the layering is difficult to master because you have to figure out exactly the proper paint to water ratio, and it varies depending on what you're painting, what color you're using, what color it's going over. So it's difficult to learn, but once you figure it out, it really opens the door to so many more techniques, because once you can properly thin your paint, then you can easily pick up glazing. You could easily pick up washes, paint washes. There's different types of washes you can do. So it just, once you figure out how to thin your paints, you have the keys to the kingdom, I usually say. If the door's open, you can do just about anything.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, because layering is still something I struggle with.
Hey, it's okay, Bill. I mean, it's 3,000 times better than any of the other people at our table, right? So, I know you like to get better, but can you imagine if Alan and I had to do the painting, or Tim? I'm sorry, Tim, I'm busting your stones. So, hey, Anna Myers on, everyone. Good to see you. Anna's got a night off from a Gabbin show, a rare night off. So enjoy that, and thanks for watching. Here's a question from the audience. I got two questions. Josh wants to know about, and we see this in sometimes, the lines you see in PLA printers on buildings and stuff, and how you resolve that, and is it very prevalent? So Bill, Mike, with a PLA printer, what do you suggest? Or
PLA printers, you're going to get lines.
Yes.
I mean, it's just dialing your printer in. I mean, every printer is different, and everything affects 3D printing. Humidity affects it, temperature affects it, your speed affects it. So it really is a matter of just you have to work on the printer and keep dialing in a little bit at a time. You change filament, and you got filament that's been sitting exposed in the air, you're going to get lines in it.
I want to show
it's the curse of PLA.
I want to show an example. Is this something, Josh, that you would be sufficient with? And the answer I say is absolutely yes. You can look at the lines in this. You can see them. See? But this is a brand new. This is the dilapidated shack from Infinite Dimension Games. It's going to be on our table for the overboard. I mean, there it is. But
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately it's part of PLA printing.
Oh, is that the witch's hut?
No, this is the dilapidated shack. No, I'll show you that in a second, Mike. See, Mike's all excited.
Oh boy!
Eventually, it's going to Jay's for the time being. That I'm bringing it home. It's going to be.
Here's it from the front. So
yeah, you'll see there's a skull. There's a skull hanging on it. That's going to be the guy who builds the coffins in the cemetery. I'm going to build. So that's the grave digger coffin maker's shed.
So go ahead, Dr. Faust. You had a question.
Yeah, regarding those printers, because I was looking at those initially before I realized there were like two different types of printers. And I read about ways you can reduce the line, something with like heating up acetone, which sounded incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
And I know there's like, you can just putty and primer over it. I'm just curious if
there's a lot of reducing primers you can use too. There are thicker primers that they suggest using to help fill out the lines, but for what we're doing for tabletop, if it was professional commission work, it'd be one thing. But I'm trying to put out volume, and but it's when I had our 5 reel dialed in, there was hardly any lines to it. This one is still a work in progress. But it also depends. It also depends on the STL. Some STLs have, it's just the quality of the STL.
Yep. Yeah, you got a bad STL, you're gonna get a bad print.
Yeah. But note on this. So you got they got the vines on this, and this is all in the 3D print. And you have all the long.
And the color's a little washed out too. It's but just because of the way my lighting down here.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I think it looks great. And honestly, from the table, when you're playing, you're not going to really see it anyway. You're not going to see the lines from the distance that you're looking at.
No.
So
it's like a hot rod car. There's 20-foot cars and there's 3-foot cars.
Right.
Mine are 20-foot cars.
There you go.
And note this. This is there's so much out there now, and I'm like, oh my God, we want this. So we have to prioritize, and this shack had just come out as one of the bonuses for the Kickstarter from Infinite Dimensions, and it fit perfectly in print time, what Bill wanted to do on his new setup for his graveyard setup he's doing, and for the Overguard thing on Thursday. So I'm like, and I knew he had printed it. I'm like, so Bill, can you work this up for me for Thursday? I mean, and that's what we're dealing with here. I'm like over, I'm not giving him a lot of time on this, but this is table ready. This will be table ready. This will not be museum quality, but we don't need that, right? You're absolutely right, Mike. We want it so it's visual, looks cool on the table, and you can play it with miniatures. So, and it's awesome. Yeah, it looks fantastic. But I wanted to answer Josh's question because I know that you could see the line work in these. So, but there's things.
Kath, really, I'm just looking back. Kath was asking about the smell of the resin printers.
Yeah, that's another question of what.
Depending on the resin printer you get, there's very little smell on some of them, and some of them do it. Also depends on the resin. If you get water-based, water cleanup resins, they really don't have much odor at all. I know Mike has said his printers are real close to them and they barely have any odor at all.
I'll tell you, I had one that was lent to me was the Anycubic Photon, which I set up right next to me at my desk. Oh my God, that was bad.
Okay.
I had to move it to the other side of the room, but the mono, there's no smell whatsoever. I mean, the original Photon was like literally like giving me headaches. So
yeah. Well, it is less like anything else. It's a learned experience, what to do, what not to do. And also, yeah, but Tom, that's a texture. It's a good point. It's always a work in progress. Like for example, our Ender 5 went down, and we couldn't get it back up and running. Right? Couldn't figure it out. Replaced almost every part. I mean,
any long prints, it clogs, and I've had the heating element. The only thing I haven't replaced is the head itself. Everything else is brand new.
Yeah. So this is just like anything in real life. You're going to come up with stuff and you have no idea why, and then you just gotta live and learn and figure out what the issue is. So other question that the audience just asked, and I think this was Tiamat. I saw it. Tiamat Smog. What a name that is. What a nice mix. Do you need any kind of special paints to paint miniatures? Because this may be someone who's brand new to the idea, and who wants to take that up, answer that, and what do you currently utilize?
Only Games Workshop paints work on Games Workshop miniatures, according to them.
Wow.
But yeah, basically, for the most part, you can use whatever paint you want. A lot of people say, well, why don't you use craft paint? Because it's so cheap. Some people, I've seen people do great work with craft paint. I can't use it because of the layering method I use. You thin it out and you can literally see the granules of the paint pigment because they're not ground as finely. But theoretically, you can use Dutch Boy if you want. So yes, you can use whatever you like.
Dr. Faust, what are your go-tos?
Gee, let me think here. Let's see here. Vallejo. Let's see here.
Vallejo's, okay. Boris Vallejo.
There's Vallejo and look, there's Vallejo. I'll tell you why. I got a closet full of paint.
Okay.
And most of it I don't use anymore, mainly for the reason that Vallejo makes paint. That's all they do. That's all they sell. Unlike Games Workshop sells miniatures along with paint. Or Reaper is one of the odd ones where they actually make their paint in-house, but it's not farmed out because I have a closet full of old GW paints that aren't made anymore, so I can't get matching colors. Or I have nitro paints. I know you never heard of those. No. They're out of business. Coat the Arms, which you really can't get anymore. The old GWs. So Vallejo is focused on making paint, so I don't have to worry about their new game failing and not being able to get their paint anymore. And that's once I found them, and I had no reason to switch yet. Okay. Because it's high quality paint and they're not going anywhere.
As far as cost wise, are they on the high end or mid range, or for someone who's starting out? Would you recommend?
If you're just starting out, you're going to spend a lot of money because they're like, depending on where you are, they're anywhere between $3.30 to $4 a bottle. Okay. For some reason, Hobby Lobby has them for like $5. It's insane.
Okay.
But even like the colors that I use constantly, like black and white, this little bottle will last well over a year.
Okay.
So it's spread out, and I have a lot of colors that are 20 years old.
My favorite black, by the way.
Yeah, covers everything.
What was that, Mike?
It's my favorite black. He was just
Vallejo. Okay.
Yeah.
So, excellent. Thank you for that. How about you, Mike? What are your go-tos?
Reaper is my mainstay. That's what I use mostly, but I still have a lot of GW. And like the Doctor, I've got so much extra paint. I like to try other paints, but my favorites are Reaper, Scale 75, and Pro Acryl.
Okay. And Bill, we know it.
Well, I mean, up until the last year, I painted with craft paint.
Yeah. Apple Barrel.
And Apple Barrel, Folk Art, Americana, whatever. That's what I used on all the minis. But in the last year, I've switched over to Reaper, and paint does make a difference. It does.
Oh,
good paint.
So
and brushes too can make a big difference too.
And I don't know if any of you can answer this, but I see posts all the time. I'm always perusing things on Facebook. Did I see Picorni paints out now? Did I hallucinate that? Dwarven
They make paints. I think you buy the paints on their. It's the same colors that are mixed to whatever he paints the Dwarven Forge stuff to.
Okay, so it's a limited line. It's not a full line of paints. Okay. So, very cool. So, as far as if you're brand new to painting, would all of you say, hey, it's okay to go out and get 20 apple barrels at a hobby store and mess around with it, and then go from there and see if you want to work it, do that?
Gotta start somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I find them harder to work with. So you may start off with a kind of a bad experience, but that's what you can afford. Great,
Okay. Awesome.
I'd turn them towards Reaper. Reaper has starter kits, that include minis with them in a booklet on how to paint. You can't beat these starter kits that they have, and they're low cost. So and they teach you excellent on things. Yep, there's one of them right there.
Speaking of that, do we want to add a third giveaway tonight?
Absolutely.
I'm going to give us away too. Reaper Fantasy Flesh core colors.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
All righty. Bill doesn't need it. We got all those, right, Bill?
Look, I'll tell you, Reaper Triads for quick skin painting is good. If you're not Dr. Faust and layering up that way, okay. Their Triads are good for it.
Yeah.
Those flesh tones right there in that set that's great set right there.
Okay. So you can choose, the first winner can choose if they want this or one of the Mike Disney prints. Alrighty. So there you go. Courtesy of one of our.
Oh, I'll just tell them right now, they're stupid if they take the print and not the paints.
Well, Mike, come on. Don't say that about your. Some people want. I mean, come on. That overcoat is awesome.
Just for instance, a Vallejo starter set, basic USA colors is $42, and it's 16 colors. So it's really not that expensive to buy yourself a better paint to start with, or the Reaper sets. Worth it to spend a little extra money.
And I believe the I can't. Ooh, I was about to say, and now I'm not sure. It's either Gale Force 9 or maybe it's through WizKids, but one of them has a starter set where they give you smaller bottles. They're like little ones, so they're cheaper, and it comes with like a miniature as well.
I think that.
Right on.
Oh yeah, I think it's WizKids has their own paint now.
And a lot of them are coming out with paints now, which is cool. But you know, you guys will have or the go-to that you always recommend. But you know, competition is always a good thing. So, and that shows that the industry is continuing to grow. So here is a character in my campaign that everyone hates. Some people love him because he's a dick, right? And if you, if you love those, and this is Mike's adopted, character that I kind of had in place, Sir Vargrin the Unmerciful, who appeared in the joust, and and also appeared in the Grand Melee. Did fairly well in the Grand Melee, but did not win because there can only be one. Of course, Bill's character won, but we won't talk about that now. And you did some modding to this, so Mike, talk about your paint job on Sir Vargrin here.
Well, the paint job is seriously just basic 3-color up layering with a little bit between the first and second layer, a little bit of wet blending, just a very, very tiny dash of it just to blend it in. And then I hard lined the edges of the armor you can see there with some edge highlighting. This model was solely done with GW paints, except for the metallics. I did non-metallic metal there on the sword and along the belt, or the dagger on the belt, I'm sorry. And that was with scale 75. I did that with. In the skulls, that's just Xandri dust with Agrax Earthshade and then Xandri dust over them one more time. And that's it, baby. That was lazy skulls right there is what I like to call them. Lazy skulls. And
and there's only one Mike did that because in my portrait workshop portrait of Vargrin, he's got skulls on his shoulders. So Mike tried to make it as in red armor. Mike tried to make it up as much as he could, like the actual portrait, which I appreciate.
Because the mini doesn't come with the skulls on the shoulders. The minis come with the little rivets. So I shaved the rivets off with an X-Acto blade. And then Doctor, I don't know if you know about the GW set. It's like 300 skulls for $15 or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's the skulls I put on there. I just glued 3 skulls on each pauldron, and they fit perfectly, and made them look extra evil, and I think pretty badass.
I can't wait to get this
for a Reaper miniature, just a basic Reaper Bones miniature, just a slight conversion, and a little bit of a lazy paint job, but still a lot of fun. You know what I mean? I have with this paint job. I had a lot of fun with them. I like painting red, and red armor is kind of badass looking. He kind of reminds me of Dracula from the movie. Remember when he had that suit of armor, that suit of red armor?
Yeah, that was Bram Stoker's, right?
Yeah, Bram Stoker's. Yeah.
Wow.
Coppola version.
That's awesome. So, Mike, I was glad to see, this come together, and I can't wait to have that on my tape because, when you give me stuff, we use it.
We'll be sending him out. Yep. And,
awesome.
and that one, Skarn, you got to be careful handling him because he's fragile. He's like a piece of china. He's that resin, and it'll break easy. But with this guy, you could throw him up against the wall. There ain't no harm in him. He's that new Bones USA resin.
So here is Skarn, okay, that Mike painted that I have on my table, and now NK Narax. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm just going to go Narax, yes. And then so also was Kraus. This was Jason Bullman's dwarf figure that we used during the fundraiser for St. Jude, the gargoyle. But we're going to use that. And so Bill, this is another simple conversion that Bill did and painted, correct?
Great.
Yeah, it's just clip the hammerhead off and an axe out of a Reaper weapons kit. pinned it and glued it, and that was it.
Yep. And you can't even tell that it's an edit, which is really cool. So we'll be seeing that figure in less than 2 weeks, as well, as far as some really cool dwarfs, and they are Moonlight Minis, Christine Van Patten's 3D prints, correct on that?
Yep.
Alrighty, so Dr. Faust, on you have out your 3D print of a wonderful Baba Yaga's hut there. So why don't we talk about a little bit some of the techniques you used in that? As it is a wonderful. I just love the lighting coming out of the top. So
this is mainly what I've been working a lot with lately. Is I've been calling it paint washes because it's washing with paint, but I actually just recently thought of start calling it paint staining.
Okay.
It's an easier way to paint. It's kind of working similar the way to the Games Workshop contrast paints now. Basically, you put down a prep coat. You can call it the base coat, but it works a little bit differently than that. Then give it a very heavy paint wash, which stains the base coat. Then the wash also dries in the recesses. So then if you reapply the base coat, you get basically 3 layers of paint using only 2 colors and adding a little bit of highlighting here and there. So this is just like, I basically painted the entire roof in flat brown, and then I gave it a very dark green, very heavy wash. That gave it some extra shade, and then painted each one very crudely. You can see the highlights there because I wanted some texture to give it some kind of rickety old wood shingle look to it. And basically, a lot of this is just heavy stain washes. Adds color. It's an easy way to add some contrast to your pieces. Then I went back and added a little bit of more small touches of color, little bits of green here and there. So yeah, that's my new thing right now is the paint stain.
Okay. Yeah, because those greens really stand out on it.
Yeah.
I
wanted something a bit more fantasy because it's Baba Yaga. Right. I could have done just like an old decrepit house that's grown over green, dark colors, but I wanted something that pops a little bit more.
It kind of self-illuminates with that green, which is really cool, and that's kind of it looks like it's almost phosphorescent, the greens, especially from that angle. It really does look like that, and that's a neat way to do it. So thoughts, Mike? Thoughts, Bill?
It's beautiful. Look at, I love the way that thing looks. And for a 3D print too, just a fantastic looking print.
Well, it's resin, and that's another thing. The resin's going to bring out more detail than a PLA.
Yeah.
So, and that's and that's a great
100%,
thing about using the resin printer there. So,
there's a few print boo-boos, but I won't point them out because it's my piece.
Well, you can't see them and can't tell from where I'm sitting, so looks just.
Anytime you run a 3D printer, you can get boo-boos.
Yeah. Well, because when I'm lazy and if I use the free supports, it's like half the time I end up regretting it because something goes wrong. So I kind of prefer doing my own supports, but I'm also lazy, so it's always a battle.
Okay. I'm gonna pop this up here from Mike. Multiples. We're going to do a multiple discussion, and then Dr. Faust has got his multiple Star Wars ones there, I think. So, Mike, is this a commission?
Yeah, that's a commission. Yep.
You got
white.
Yeah, and white's got to be not the easiest color to paint. Is that correct?
Yeah, white sucks. It depends on what you're doing. You use white primer, and start from there, and then just go over it with gray, or use gray primer and start from there and go over it with an off white and work up from there. There's plenty of methods you can use, but either way, white has always been no fun to paint, notoriously no fun to paint. But after painting 18 custody bikes and doing these guys, I've got it down to a science now. And
I want everyone to point this out in the background, and that is this banner. Look at that with the the feathers on it. I mean, they're all highlighted. So you're taking the white and you've done the blue highlights around it, along with on the rope as well. So, and that really makes it stand out.
It's not even all the way done yet either.
Okay.
That banner is not even all the way done yet, but it's just following the GW 3 layers up. That's all I'm doing right there. Is doing a base coat, a wash, then a highlight, and another highlight, and that's it. Real basic, easy painting.
Awesome. Well, good to hear. And then if we go to this one, and let me just, I got them in subfolders here, so give me 1 second here. And of course, I don't want to crash anything. Oh, no, I just cursed myself, didn't I? I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I know I have it here. Where is that? I have yours on. I have your Marines, your Star Wars ones here, Dr. Faust. I can't find it. It's really bizarre. I know it's scrolling through. It's probably right in front of my face and I can't see it. So I'm just going to go to this one for the time being. I'm going to go to the Demogorgon one instead until I can find the other one. There it is. I got it. Star Wars C Team. Look at that. All right, this is cool. Yeah, yeah. Wow. So you got a lot of the races here. So what is this set actually?
That's a 3D print from Skull Forge Studio. I hope I got the name right.
Okay, wow.
And I put that together for. I was hoping to play Star Grave, which hasn't happened yet. Basically, I wanted what I called the C Team. So no Han Solo or Boba Fett. The kind of the no named characters. Was the idea.
You got an assassin droid though.
It looks like all bounty hunters.
You got a Twi'lek. You got some really good ones there.
And they're led by Werner Herzog.
Yeah, that is it's so how many different types do they have? Hundreds of models of all different characters you can get in this line? I mean, this is
the guy does a lot of knockoff stuff.
Okay.
Not officially licensed. It's not Star Wars, it's Stir Wars. And he's got quite a few different prints you can pick from. This and other kind of pop culture things.
How many do you need to play in this game? Do you need a full squad?
Star Grave, I think you need 10 or 12. I can't remember off the top of my head. It varies a little bit.
Yeah. So
it's basically the space version of Frost Grave, if you.
Oh, okay.
Great. Okay. They look fantastic.
Yeah. 25 or 28 millimeter?
Those are closer to 28.
Okay. Excellent. Let's talk to why I have this up. Demogorgon.
I threw that in for you. It's old school.
Yeah, this is old mini, isn't it?
That's the reprint from who does the reprints for Grenadier? Merliton, I believe.
No idea. Didn't know that somebody was doing the reprints for Grenadier. I'd be all over.
Bill, who does who does the MechWarrior reprints?
Ironwind.
Ironwind. Is this Ironwind?
No. It's
Ironwind does that. They do Ralph Partha.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I want to say it's Merliton.
Okay,
they have the molds from a lot of the Grenadier stuff. And
wow.
They're reprinting them, which is kind of a hilarious story. Because the big thing about this figure was when Stranger Things came out.
Yep.
And so these things were selling for like hundreds of dollars on eBay, and people were just buying them for $15 from Merliton and putting them on eBay for $100, and people were snatching them up left and right. It's like they still make the miniature. Stop buying it. Yeah. So this is an older paint job. It's not the best, but I threw it in for your.
Oh, I appreciate that. And it's an original Grenadier that you're saying. It's a re-sculpt of that, a reprint of that one. Yeah,
yeah, from the original molds.
Yeah,
for the original masters.
So you're talking 80s on this. You're talking probably 82, 83 on the original mold.
Oh, I thought you were being generous with that year.
Yeah.
Honestly,
but it's cool, and it's a starting point for just showing that you can take old miniatures, whatever they are, Citadels or Grenadiers, Ralparthas, Prince Augusts, whatever they are, and make them and use them in your game, with some cool painting techniques. That looks good. Looks really good.
One of the Facebook groups I'm in, I posted this, and actually the original sculptor was like, "Hey, that looks awesome," which is always cool when you run into the people who actually made them. You can talk to them.
That is cool. That's super cool.
It's really disturbing that like Stranger Things is right in my wheelhouse. I graduated high school in '85. It's just bizarre, that they brought that out, and it's like, oh my gosh, I could be one of those nerds in that, right? So you have oops, I didn't want to. That was our background there. I want to keep the Black Dragon up as a background. All right, so now let's Bill, let's tease the audience. Didn't Mike ask about a hut? He asked something about a hut, didn't he? Oh, there we go.
Don't you tease me, Jay.
Oh.
That's a really good, yeah. Before any detailing was done.
There we go.
But yeah, that's a Gamescape 3D. It's a Celtic hut. It's actually the Celtic granary. But I looked at the shape of it and I'm like, man, that's a witch's hat. That's perfect for a witch's hut. And there's been a lot of detail added to it since then. But
yeah, it is. It's cool, and in fact, if you watch the video that Gamescape 3D has, it's inside like a walled complex, an old Celtic community, and so I said we wanted a witch's hut to go with the Overgord for the story. I'm telling Mike, I'm going to tell the Greyhawk version of the Overgord story. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to do that and make some changes to what it does. No instant deaths on all 12 characters like you wanted, but that's okay. I'm kidding. By the way, on that, it'll be a fun and challenging adventure. But notice once again, Bill has based this up so that it can be utilized in different situations here, and created some different levels of terrain. And painted this up. And you can open this up, the lid. You can take off the lid. This is roof on this. Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 2 usable floors.
Right. So we can actually have. Oh, it's 2 floors.
Yeah. Well, first floor, and then the conical hat comes off, and that's a usable floor up top.
Oh, excellent. Because I don't have these yet. These are still in production here. And then talk about what you're utilizing here.
That's the flowers and the wheat and stuff is a model terrain company called JTT Enterprises. You can get their stuff at Hobby Lobby and any other places, but they look pretty good, and the size is close, so it works.
Absolutely. And then,
but yeah, it's just basically it's liquid nails, lines drawn, and there's that's mocha grout built up around it, just to look like that's churning the earth. And I leave some of the grout out exposed so it gets chunky. And you'll get more like rocks in it, so it looks a little more natural than just perfectly smooth dust.
So there you go on a really nice crafted piece of terrain that goes in with the paint job on a 3D print here that you all see on Thursday evening. Very, very cool for that. So let me hop into something a little. I love the look on this guy. Hollister Black Cloak.
Here, I just threw the Instagram link in there with some updated pictures.
Oh, awesome! Thank you. Our chicken legs optional. Mark on. They are on Dr. Faust's print there. There are chicken legs that go on the thing you see in his upper left-hand corner. That's a Baba Yaga there on that. Bill's wasn't a Baba Yaga. The Bill's was just a Celtic hut. So, all right, Dr. Faust, tell us a little bit about the especially the skin tone on this. What you've done here.
Well, first of all, there's a YouTube video on it.
Oh, good.
So you can watch it all in detail rather than me trying to explain it in 30 seconds.
No problem.
Basically, I didn't show you the back. I call him the crazy cat mage of Waterdeep because it's not official. It's not an official miniature. The robe of eyes is actually on the cloak. So unfortunately, you can't see it from this angle.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. It's got little eyeballs and faces and or mouths. But for the skin, it's kind of my normal recipe. I just added a touch of gray along with, my regular colors, which I can actually show you.
Please do.
This is my my go-to skin recipe, which is basically Panzer Ace's Shadow Flesh, Beige Red, and Basic Skin Tone, which I use 8 times out of 10.
Okay.
And what I tell people is, if you ever want to like play around with different types of skin tones, you don't have to like pick 3 new colors. Just mix in a tiny bit of a new color along with your regular recipe, whatever that is.
Okay.
And with that, I went a little bit more extensive on glazes, very, very, very thin colors of paint, a little bit of red to the nose. In his case, I went a little bit overboard. I added some like bluish purple to the eyes. Let's go for the kind of more emaciated, crazy look of a guy who's been in a dungeon for several hundred years or 1,000 years.
As I guess you don't know this, Dr. Faust, but Robes of Eyes have been one of those so powerful magic items. I haven't given one out in 35 years. I don't think Bill's been around ever since I gave one out. They're so crazily overpowered.
That and arrow direction.
The arrows of direction, well, when they're abused by, a couple of our players. But Robes of Eyes are so, I mean, you see with the Robe of Eyes 360 degrees. You can't be snuck up on, right? They're really powerful, but that's cool. That he has. Oh, look at Tim in chat immediately assumes I'm talking about Tim. I'm not. You're not the Robe of Eyes. You're not the Arrow of Direction guy. But I love the look on him. So now we know something about him. Is this a character in your campaign, or is this a character you've created for lore purposes in your game? If you're playing Forgotten Realms.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not playing D&D right now.
Oh, you're not? Oh, okay.
No,
Wow. Okay.
I have not played any D&D for like 30 plus years.
Really?
With the exception of I started an online campaign, which was great. We played for I don't know how many months, but I managed to get a few people together and run a few short adventures. We actually did Castle Amber, which is something I've wanted to do for a long, long time. It was great. And then I started my own campaign, which I've been writing for 3 years because I've been actually interested in Dungeons and Dragons. I've been wanting to play for past several years since the start of the Acquisition Incorporated podcast, if you're familiar with that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I finally got to do part of the campaign, but then I realized it was too fast, and I'm going to be going back to work in another month or two. So yeah, I ended it about a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago. So yeah.
We'll have to get you into a one-shot.
Yes, with Ed Greenwood.
But
I just paint for the fun. I just do for the painting.
Awesome.
Once I'm done with them, I would throw them away if I could not sell them. Wow. Because for me, it's just the painting. It's not the having.
Okay.
So people like, how can you sell your miniatures? I'm like, because I don't care. It's painted. I'm done with it.
Okay. Excellent.
So I'm weird that way. I know.
No, hey, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Some people, it's about the creation, and then when it's done, it doesn't hold that value as much as creating it, and that's cool. Very cool.
I have, whose miniature is that? I actually painted that one up.
That is Mike's.
That's mine.
That's one of my best miniatures I painted in the past few months. Was that sculpt?
I love that. I love that sculpt. Is he not fun to paint or what?
Yeah, the bushwhacker.
Yeah, that's him. Love him. His big feet.
So is he a what do they call them in Warhammer? I know they were
there were dragon slayers and
yes, because they're actually a Blood Bowl position too, if I recall. The crazy dwarves going berserk. So Mike, another commission job, did it for yourself?
Nope, did it for myself.
Awesome.
He's sitting in my cabinet. Just did it for myself, and just I you know how I love dwarves.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I just wanted to do your standard old Slayer and put a nice big old blue dress on him and just have fun. That's all I did. I actually wanted to see how fast I could paint up a dwarf, and I was pretty proud of myself. I did this guy in probably about 45 minutes.
Okay. Nice. I'm so pissed at myself, Bill, for not getting those sideboards, talk more dwarves, man, because you got like 6, 7 of them down there, and they're all nice.
Yeah,
Detail on them are so
not a big deal. Yeah, the detail on those miniatures are incredible.
yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll get them on stream. We'll show them. So, I want to show how I guess you can use a lot of real items to make something. This is going to be shown tomorrow night. This is another Bill craft here. All right. So what we got with this one?
It's hemp twine. It's hold on. It's hemp twine. It's something called putka pods. They're seed pods used for the pumpkins. It's the fence is made out of a root bulb that I dug out of my yard. So it's all, whatever you can find to make it work.
And the greens around that, though, those are that company again, or is
the greens? That's that JTT. Yeah, they're just long. They're creeping vines. They're easy. They're metal, so you can metal wires. So you can wrap them around things. They look good. And then the leaves on the pumpkin vine is just from the dollar store. I bought a little plant, clip the leaves off.
We're gonna have so much fun on Thursday night, right, Mike? With this,
yeah, and there's some grass tufts on there from rival craft.
So what Bill and those don't know, and I'm going to scare him a little bit, is that they don't know I don't think they know about the overgordlets yet. Yeah.
No.
What about the overgord what? I'm sorry?
The overgordlets. Remember I asked you that question about needing a whole bunch of smaller pumpkins. So
yes.
Unfortunately,
it's no longer available.
He's
the undergords.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. The overgord is not to be toyed with. He is a tough. I didn't write those stats. Somebody else did. And I just added to him a little bit and here and there. And he is tough. Very, 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 very tough. He's not like I said when Blue Box played him with us, it was a TPK except for one person. So it was almost a TPK. It was a 99% TPK. And just one person got away out of a party of 6 people.
And got away is a term that so here's
bravely ran away.
Yeah, so bravely. So Robin ran away. So this is another. I'm assuming Warhammer Dwarf.
That's a 3D print.
That's a 3D. Okay, wow.
Yeah. Oh, he is cool looking.
Yeah.
Is that Artesian Guild, Doctor?
It might be actually. Yes.
Wow.
I think you're right.
I love their dwarves. That's
actually again the metallic thing I've been experimenting with, mixing the metallics with the non-metallics, heavy shade washes,
right,
and then a slight metallic sheen just on the edge. So I'll let you in on a little preview because I'm eventually going to be doing a video on this. So I've been trying to figure out what to call this technique, and you probably heard of non-metallic metals and true metallic metals, and it's a combination of the two techniques. So it's true metallic, non-metallic technique. So it's the TMNT.
TMNT.
It's the turtle power painting.
TMNT turtle. Let's see those turtles, chat.
Oh no. Oh my.
Did I start something?
Yeah, see, all right, so I'm going to put it in chat. So yes, there we go. My South Jersey accent, I say turtle a lot of times, and so Taryn made up a turtle emote for the channel, and there you go. Now, and we're getting spammed it. So there, yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm totally sorry.
Hi, Jess. Hi, Jess.
He's already in it.
There's Jess in the background. Hi. I guess. So there was Bill's daughter in the background there. Yeah, so I love the beard on him, the braided, and at the end. So I'm assuming you're talking about the bottom here, where you got that combination where it looks like it could be metal, or it could be leather, or it could be whatever.
Well, from this angle, it can't see the metallic too well, but because that's like it's a heavy bronze color, and there's blue shading in the recesses. And just the edge has a bit of sparkle to it. Actually, it looks a little washed out.
It
for
looks
some reason
phenomenal. It really does.
But yeah, that's another one that came up pretty well. I'm happy with that.
Love it. Absolutely love that one.
How long does
ahead,
it
Mike.
take you to usually paint a miniature from start to finish? Can you do a miniature to this quality in one day, Doc?
Oh yeah. It depends on the miniature, of course. You know, pouches and little things is annoying and takes forever. This one, I think I've done it on stream. I can't remember which takes longer, but this was probably 3 hours.
Wow.
Painting maybe, because it's just skin, metal, and you know, a loincloth, so it's not that much.
I couldn't do that in 3 days.
Yeah, you forgot the hair too, and look how nice and layered up that hair is, and all blended on top the mohawk. That's just for 3 hours of work. That is beautiful, impressive for any amount of work. That's a beautiful job.
Yeah, sometimes it'll take 3 days, sometimes 3 hours. You know, when the mojo and everything is lining up perfectly, and your first color selection is perfect. You know, it just boom, boom, boom.
What about that dragon? How long did that dragon take you?
That one went surprisingly fast as well. That was like 3 days, mainly because since it was black, it just involved a lot of dry brushing on the scales with a little bit of edge highlighting. That was 80% of it. Even the wings, which you can't see too well here, it's painting with texture, so you don't have to really worry too much about very thin layers with that. So yeah, he went surprisingly fast.
So Hager the Horrible has been following you, and he says you Dr. Faust uses so many different browns, it's insane. I was making a list of paints I needed for the halfling, and it was like 10 different browns.
Browns are awesome. I have a video on painting earth tones.
It was a Reaper henchman or something. Didn't you do that when it was like browns and yellows and greens?
Yeah, everything had brown in it.
Yeah.
That's the one. When you make videos for people, you can't make a video that makes everybody happy. So it's the choice of either do I use minimal colors and mix everything, but people have a hard problem.
We're still here. That was me. I'm trying to open up too many screens. That was me. As long as I don't crash things yet. So there you go. We're still here.
Some people have real problems mixing paint. They're scared to mix one color into the other. So it's like, do you encourage them to buy more colors so they don't have to mix, or do you use a minimum palette so
just look at this one,
they have to mix? So that's always the difficult thing. I usually use a lot of colors because that was a big complaint I heard back in the day. It says, well, I can't follow you because I don't want to mix colors. I'm scared to. So I use a lot of paint models, so people think you have to go buy a lot, but
look at that,
half full, half empty,
Yeah, this is pretty impressive. That Conan.
Yeah, I know you did a great dragon tutorial. It was quite a few years ago. It was a blue dragon with a desert base. That was a fun one to watch, talking about how you layered things up.
Oh yeah, that one took a lot longer because I painted each individual scale like with whatever 8 layers, and then those wings, that was just all dots. Those wings took a long time.
So when you're done with your mini, do you Etsy them or do you eBay them? Where do you normally put them?
eBay.
Okay.
I haven't thought of Etsy. I hear it's pretty good market.
Okay.
It is. I like it. I enjoy it.
But I put them up on eBay, and usually they're gone in a day.
Yep.
About 90% of them. So,
awesome.
I can't bring myself to raise my prices anymore. So it sells for what I'm happy with, and I assume they're happy because they keep buying them.
Okay. Very cool. So this Conan mini, is this a 3D print as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look close, you can see all the 3D print lines on the back of the axe.
Yes, you can. Yep, you can. Right there. But that's that gives it a little detail. And so you have your same 3 skin tones you use with something else a little to change it up, and you have.
This one was slightly different. I can tell just by looking at it, but I have no idea exactly what I used. I vary things up, especially with one-shot minis. I usually just, let me just try something new, and then I do it all the time. So I don't remember.
Okay.
I get that feeling. Yep, I do the same thing.
Here we go with Mike. This one's a monster. Your death, whatever this monstrosity is, thing's huge.
That is an Angel of Nurgle.
Oh, okay.
Creature caster. And right now, this is also a work in progress. This shot right here, it's mainly airbrushing and then glazing on the arms and some of the flesh tone down along the belly, and adding in some purples and a lot of purple actually into the flesh to make it look bruised and sore and vile.
Skulls there in the arm. Yeah, it's crazy. That's so is this a Games Workshop mini?
No, it's not a Games Workshop mini. It's from Creature Caster.
Okay.
Yep.
It is monstrous.
Oh, it's called Plague Angel. That's what it's called.
Okay.
It's called the Plague Angel. Yep.
It ain't called Nurgle.
Yeah,
No, it's not Nurgle.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's called the Plague Angel.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
And yep, he was based with airbrush, and then I went in and started doing the rest with hand brush, of course.
Awesome. That's another fantastic. I mean, and when's your time frame for finishing this?
Oh, that's just a personal project. So
okay. Cool. It's a Creature Caster.
Just a personal project. So whenever I want to, I reach up and grab them off of my counter. Yes, and he's resin. He's not 3D printed. He's a resin.
I want to note this from the arena that Bill did, and I want everyone to understand that. So, along with the arena, Bill creates a lot of customizations. Plus, you can see right here, and there's one in the corner here you can't even see. One, two. There are multiple Reaper miniatures. Bill, explain what you did with the what is it? The Townsfolk pack that came in the last Kickstarter.
Yeah, it was just the Bones 5 Townsfolk pack, and it was the mad scramble to get them painted so we could have spectators and people around the around the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
they're, for what Reaper's doing, they're miniatures, especially if you got someone who's trying to get into miniature wargaming or D&D. I mean, they're the best buy out there right now if you're looking for miniatures ready to go. They have nice detail for what they are, and they're inexpensive.
Absolutely, and that. I mean, I don't even know how many miniatures we got in that last Kickstarter. It was crazy. So
I know. I have too many.
Yeah.
I probably have. I don't even want to look at the totes that are behind me. They're filled with miniatures underneath the table there. I mean, I probably got 500 miniatures easy, not counting BattleTech miniatures.
In regards to that, because I thought I spent too much money on the Reaper Bones Kickstarter, and then I saw people who bought like 6 pirates.
Oh,
yeah. Thank God. Now I realize I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
Yeah. We only got one. And I think
it's always good.
No, I should have gotten a second one. I think, but Bill.
I should have gotten more overboards is what I should have got.
We're going to get more. We're going to get more because we still have another couple, 3-4 weeks till it closes for the second time. So here's a couple questions we have. Hey, Curtis. Armin asks, have people asked about airbrushing? I really wanted one, but now I don't think I need one for my typical one-off minis. Thoughts of the guests. And then what size nozzle and needle is best to airbrush a mini from Shattered Saint? So who wants to take those two up? Or everyone want to answer that?
My airbrushing is very limited. I use it for base coating on terrains mostly and base coating big miniatures. But other than that, I don't use it for any detail work at all.
Yeah, me either. I use it for big stuff. That's it. And the prime.
Okay.
That's it. Priming miniatures and for bigger models just to get a smoother blend, but everything else I do with the brush.
Dr. Faust, do you airbrush?
I have one. Yes, I use it for miniatures. I just mainly use it for priming, but I also build scale models, which it's almost a requirement that you have an airbrush when you're building. Oh, here's a terrible thing that's only work in progress, but when you're building bee wings and things.
Oh yeah, nice.
It's extremely difficult to do nice detail work with spray cans, rattle cans.
Any specific size nozzle and needle best used in these applications?
0.5 is what I use.
0.5, 0.3. Dave's Mini Art says is a good all-around size to use.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, I got 0.35.
0.35. So you're in that range between 0.3 and 0.5. 0.03 and 0.05. Thank you for those answers. Really appreciate it.
A lot of the size is mostly due to technique and how far away you are and the pressure. So you can still do extremely fine detail work even with a larger size needle.
Okay.
Yeah, and your compressor makes a huge difference too.
Yeah.
If you have a crappy compressor like I do, it's just use it for priming.
Resin printer question. How do we all have UV treaters? Is that how we harden our resin minis?
I do.
Okay. Mike?
What's that?
How do you harden your resin minis?
I cure them.
Okay, you have a curing box as well. Just wanted to.
Yeah, I have a curing box. Yeah.
Okay. We just got ours too. So just wanted to. Is there any other technique for you for curing?
Yeah, leave them outside.
Okay.
Yeah, put them outside in the sun.
Okay.
Or make your own box.
Okay. Lomas Lightfoot is asking, do you guys use washes?
I do. I love washes.
Okay.
I do, just because it's a cheater's way of getting stuff done fast.
Amen.
It's not cheating.
I
It's a technique.
don't, yeah, absolutely.
Like
Instant
I've
fill.
been going back to the washes because I really been enjoying it. And oh, here you go. Perfect example here.
Please.
Again, another low texture paint or low dexterity paint job. This is painted almost entirely just with washes.
Let me go to a larger.
Yeah. See, that's what I love about washes.
A little bit of stippling for highlights, but majority of it's just washes.
Okay.
So, because I'm trying to come up with easier ways for people to paint, because there's a lot of people who don't want to go through my whole layering method, on paint.
What's he carrying? Is he carrying at someone's head or something?
It's a body.
It's a whole body. Oh, he's dragging a body by the head. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because one thing people get frustrated when they start off, and I still do, is look, the only way to get better is to paint, and you have to paint a lot to get better. That's the only way to get better, is to paint.
Yeah.
So washes are one thing that and a lot of people are using contrast paints now. If you're a painter who's just painting once in a while, there's no reason not to use those tools.
That's exactly it. Like, people have called airbrush cheating, and it's all a tool. It's all, you're still, what comes out of an airbrush? Paint. And it's all going on to the model. How is it cheating? I've never understood that. I think using an airbrush takes skill, honestly. There's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Well, the good thing is that I'm assuming all three of you still think you have a lot of stuff to learn and stuff to improve on, correct? Is
I
that
never want to stop learning.
Yeah. All right. So here, to continue with that, what is something you would love to get better on technique wise? Who wants to start with that one? Bill.
Layering.
Larry. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem, layering.
Okay. What would you like to improve on?
Everything, honestly. There's really nothing if somebody's can teach me something that I don't know, I'm on it. I'm in, just to count me in. I want to get better. Yeah, at everything. I can't really pinpoint one thing.
Okay. Dr. Faust, what do you think?
I would say non-metal metallic, but I think in general, one of the things that really held me back painting wise is because I learned from like historical sources how to paint historical miniatures where the goal is realism. It took me way too long to realize that, especially nowadays, a lot of people don't care about realism, and it's more of the rule of cool. So things like just extreme cartoony highlights, non-metal metallics. Those are really popular, and it took me a long time to realize that. And it's very difficult for me to actually paint that way with the extreme highlights because it's a completely different style. So I kind of wish I could change my style up a little bit, because if you even change your style, it's a whole different technique. You learn new things. So just the rule of cool, techniques. I wish I could be a little bit better in that, but it's kind of my painting upbringing holds me back.
Let me flip over back here. Thank you for those answers. The armored turtle or tortoise on this one. Describe what's going on here. He looks like this individual has a staff of some sort. So is a spellcaster.
No, that's an axe.
Oh, it's an axe. Okay. Oh, yeah,
No.
you're right. Duh on me. Yes, yes, it is a two-bladed axe here. Who's the miniature from? Is it a 3D print? And
it's a 3D print. Oh, I don't know.
I don't recognize that miniature, and I know a lot of 3D printing companies and what they put out. I follow a lot. I've never.
It's
seen
My
that.
Mini Factory.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly who does it off the top of my head.
Crawl.
I have no idea.
Oh, that's a movie though, right? Crawl.
Yeah, it's a movie, but Romans is saying crawl.
That's one hell of a
Unless it's
turtle.
just being incredibly random.
Yeah.
But that one it was a pain in the ass to paint, to be honest. I had to repaint him a couple times. The shell wasn't working out. It's a very weird piece because he's got this shell, but there's metal spikes coming out of it. So it's an armor-plated shell, but I painted it as a real shell with armored edges.
Plus, it's got chainmail on too underneath. It looks like.
Yeah, he's fully armored.
Wow. Yeah. It's a very interesting.
And he's big too. He's a good 2 inches tall. I mean, that's like a 50 millimeter base.
Wow.
See,
wow.
I love painting big chunky minis like that. Do you find you like painting bigger minis like that, or do you have more fun with them? Stuff that you have space with?
I can go either way. I mean, I kind of like all the busts. These are always fun to paint because you do have more areas you can work in more detail to the face, much than you can on a 28 millimeter, whatever.
Right.
So kind of like the larger scale stuff I like doing on occasion. But I'll paint just about anything, just whatever sings to me.
That turtle is Mike the Irritated Turtle.
Oh, that's good.
It's the maker is Bite the Bullet.
Oh, Bite the Bullet. There you go. Yeah.
Bite the Bullet.
Okay. Well,
I've heard of them, but I don't recognize the scope.
Well, it's very, I'm not big on off races as player characters, being the old school guy that I am, but it's really a neat concept as having some kind of adversary. I mean, you got lizard kings and all sorts of other things running around. Why can't you have a gargantuan dire turtle race of some sort? Plus, it fits in with my turtle emote. So there you go.
If Gamera played Dungeons and Dragons, this is what his character.
Absolutely. Oh man, or if Mike, Mike's favorite Expedition to Barrier Peaks, nice crossover there with mixing. Yeah. Hagar has a dumb question. How do you decide what colors to make clothes and armors? Matching, random, look at photos? I sit there and can't decide what colors.
I always use artwork and photos and reference and anything I can. I'm pretty good at pulling the stuff out of my head. Like I know what's should be gold trim or what should be silver or but I use photographs.
Photographs, okay. Dr. Faust, it's just what you picture in your mind, or where do you take?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
It's like that, and it's like, I picture her with a orange dress or whatever. Often it's colors just I haven't used lately. It's I haven't painted anything red for a while. Do that. The hard part is color balance,
Okay.
which, see if I have an example. Oh, here we go. Her again. Color balance is usually basic rule of thumb is whatever color you have on the top of the miniature you want on the bottom as well. So the colors balance evenly. And that's something I actually, again, I've been trying to break away from. Because, you know, she's got some orange in the middle, which is okay, but I went a little bit crazy with her pants. It makes it look brighter, more interesting. So sometimes figuring out what colors works best with whatever other color can be a little bit more difficult. And sometimes quite often I repaint things.
Armin asks, do any of you use a color wheel for assistance?
I have a color wheel right in my reach at all times.
Okay.
On rare occasion.
Okay.
When I can't decide at all, I will.
Okay.
I have a color wheel in my head.
Okay. And
Don't know what a color really is and wouldn't know how to use it.
You spin it and you win a prize.
Yeah. Blatantly honest, Bill, and we love that. So here, I'll throw up one of Mike's here. Of course, we'll go with the Star Wars theme here as we're starting to wrap up here. There we go, Mike.
Oh, Boba.
Yeah, Boba.
That's my most recent miniature. Well, besides the wolf that you see down there by the
in the corner,
stormtrooper helmet. But yeah, that's my most recent one. It's almost done. I got a couple more things I want to do on it, and that's about it.
Okay. What commission work for yourself?
Nope, commission. Just simple basic tabletop was all he wanted. So that's the thing about commission. You've got to know when to say when to stop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're only getting paid for so much. So
what percent roughly are you all printing for table played versus museum quality where you don't want to use it at all? Are we talking 90-10 for the most part, 50-50 for stuff that you want utilized, that you are making and utilized on the table?
You are speaking a foreign language to me.
All right, so when you paint a mini, Dr. Faust.
No, I know. No, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
I don't have different levels. I know that's weird.
Okay, no. Okay.
I try to paint everything to my best, even if it's on tabletop. That's why I never get to play any miniature games, because I'm always painting my stuff and never actually playing with it. So everything's the same level for me, because if I try to rush it and just slap paint on, when I return to it a week later, I hate it. I can't do it. So everything it's just one level. I try to do the best I can do on pretty much everything.
Okay. Mike, how about you?
Well, I mean, as a commission painter, you kind of have to have levels of painting,
right?
So unless you're a guy that just says, I just paint at one level and that's it, you know, but I'm not that guy. If somebody wants me to paint up 5 Space Marines and they only want to pay me $50 to do it, they're only getting a base coat, you know. That's it.
Understood. Yeah.
They're gonna get me outside with a rattle can over them, and then that's it. There's your 50 Space Marines. Give me my $50.
So
but
going back to this picture, this looks pretty intricate here, Mike. So wasn't $50.
No, that wasn't $50, but that's still at the same time, that's still a tabletop job. It's not. I did one coat on all that gold trim. That's only one coat. You know, the white's the only thing that's got 3 different paints on it. The blue has got 3 different on the blue, except for the weapons. The weapons are the only things that aren't done yet. And the eyes, there's 3 colors on the eyes, and that's it. And there's 3 colors on the gems too. And that's it. Besides that, this is all the metallics are one coat, except for the silvers, just black with a nice light dry brushing of lead belcher on top of it. It's a really basic, easy, simple tabletop job that I did, and that's all the customer wanted. That's all they're paying me for. So
right.
Like I say, you got to know when to say stop. What looks good. Of course, I don't want to hand anybody anything that looks like doo-doo, you know, but I'm not going to hand them something that they didn't pay me for either.
Understood. I think, I'll just hey, it's a good thing to know out there always, what the varying levels of detail are. And Bill, I'm assuming your answer is going to be for play on our table, right?
Yeah, everything's for play on our table. I don't keep anything. It's all, everything goes to the game, because by the time I finish something, you've already got 2 more things for me to get done.
So it's my fault.
Absolutely, it's always your fault.
That's all. Just like my wife says, it's always my fault there. All right, so
No, and then of course, I have things that I build that are more for me, that end up, like, I'm doing the cemetery. We don't have a need for a cemetery,
but I will.
But I have it in my head that I have to build this cool multi-level Gothic cemetery.
Yep. And because he's got a need, he wants to do it, I'm going to fit it into the campaign because we want to utilize all the great
It'll
things.
get used somewhere.
It'll get utilized somewhere. So,
and then I have a diorama I'm going to start working on that's going to involve this guy right here.
Yes, there you go, Mike. There's a recent,
which is a Mike Disney special.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't
which
wait.
is going to be, I'm going to make it from a book, and it's going to be the story of Leviator and if Holly and her beast coming alive, and I'm going to make it out of a hardback book and build the diorama actually inside the book itself. So it's the story coming alive kind of thing.
So I want to answer. I think Hagar put the question out there about dioramas. All right, so we'll let Dr. Faust and Mike answer it in a second. But my opinion there, Hagar, is what we do is dioramas, like, for our game. So we're taking Bill's crafts, and if you look on here this is from Thursday night. This is before this is where we stopped the previous Thursday. You have all the mounds here are Bill crafts from scratch. You have Gamescape 3D prints. You have some other Gamescape, and you have this mound in the back is a custom craft. I even utilized the Scar and Mine in here, right? That's in our Bill custom craft. The roads come in. This tree was built from scratch by Bill. You got some other Gamescape prints out here, and you got some other ruins here, and it all goes in. And I see this as one grand diorama. That's the way I look at it. So, hopefully that answers your question. But Mike, Dr. Faust, you guys ever paint scenes or dioramas by commission or just for the heck of doing it? That was an audience question.
Well, the table looks great. I don't consider that a diorama in my head. I mean, diorama
Not me either.
something with miniatures that's glued to it. I haven't done a diorama in ages.
Okay.
They're cool. I was actually thinking earlier when we were talking about 3D printing, I think conversions in general, and maybe even dioramas, I have no interest in them, or I haven't needed to because of 3D printing. You usually find exactly whatever you need nowadays, which is a little sad. We used to do a lot more customization, back then. But yeah, I've done a few dioramas on occasion, but it's been a long time. Terrain, on the other hand, I like building terrain. I just have no place to put it because I leave it at the game store and it gets destroyed because people are miserable with other people's terrain. Yeah. And I have no place to store it here, so I don't get to do much of it.
Well, even just wear and tear, ours gets beat up. It gets dinged, it gets dropped. Things happen all the time. Bill's got his glue repair and stuff. Just because you're playing with it, it's going to get use out of it. So, and maybe diorama is the wrong word. A grand terrain scene is what we're setting up here, and that's
Battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. So
book nooks are really popular right now. People building book nook dioramas.
Okay. And Mike, how about you for dioramas? From the question?
I've got some planned. Like I love to paint, and nobody hate on me, but I like to paint chibi minis sometimes. And I have a couple.
Eight.
I have a couple of dioramas planned out for Alien and Predator. Like I have Ripley in the big mechanized moving moving machine,
almost the mech,
and I have a couple of aliens plus the Queen Alien and all in chibi for that. So I want to do a diorama for that, and then I've got the Predator and a couple of other aliens, and I wanted to do a jungle scene for that.
Awesome.
So, and those are all in the chibi form. But I also, the first diorama I want to do is my favorite movie of all time, and that's Big Trouble in Little China. And I've
Nice.
got all the little dudes for that. Oh, there's a floof.
Excellent.
Extra guest star.
So I know we're coming on time here, and anyone else in the audience have any other questions for our three great guests here tonight? Hopefully you're enjoying the discussion and getting some ideas from them. It just my gosh, 2-3 years ago, Bill, I don't think we'd ever be even considering doing all the crafting streams we've done, and it's really come a long way with the community.
No, and 3D printing has changed it because it's definitely better than cutting foam.
Two questions for you, Dr. Faust. What's the kiddie's name, and are you a Mystery Science Theater 3K fan?
It's Marvin, and they must know me because it was my video opening theme song for 10 plus years.
There you go.
Was the Mystery Science Theater. I built my own Tom and Crow.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, out of the actual correct parts. So it's 100%. Both of them are 100% legit. Yeah, and it's my favorite show of all time.
I will probably say my favorite episode is the one with Sergeant Schultz. Was the outer space one? I forget what it was called. Oh my gosh, that was hysterical.
That's a Crash of Moons.
Oh my gosh, that was hysterical. It was like they were like what do you call it? A space luxury liner or something. It was nuts. Yeah, very cool. So final thoughts, Bill. We'll go in reverse order. Bill, Mike, and Dr. Faust here. I know we're coming on, and we'll do some giveaways, and we'll find someone to raid. What would you say, Bill?
I've got some terrain ready to go for Thursday.
Yes.
Lots of pieces.
Lots of pieces, lots of fun. Get that all.
Well, check it out Thursday night.
Yeah, and it's a Thursday night, 2-parter. So more than likely, unless I kill everyone off the first night. But we wouldn't want to do that. So, and Bill, thanks.
And thanks, Mike and Dr. Faust, for coming on. It's great to have you.
It's always fun. Always awesome to be on the show.
And Mike, what would you like to say? I'm shouting everyone out as we're going here.
Yeah, just thank you again, Doctor, for coming on. This is awesome. I've been watching you for many years on YouTube, so it just to finally get to meet you and hang out with you and pick your brain a little bit. It's very, 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 very cool experience. So thank you for coming on, and yeah, just looking forward to another week of streaming. Gonna have some fun, gonna have some new stuff coming up on the stream. Hopefully Thursday Overgord doesn't kill everybody on Jay's stream, but really looking forward to that. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So Dr. Faust, thank you so very much for coming on, and what would you like to say in closing tonight?
Well, this has probably been one of the worst experiences I've had in my entire life. Oh, wow. No, I'm kidding.
That was awesome. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, this was fun. I didn't know what to expect, really. And I'm glad I didn't have to paint for 2 hours.
No.
That on stream. But yeah, this was cool. I like talking about all this stuff. So thank you.
Our pleasure. The community really noting that when we started, we were going to be so heavy in miniatures and terrain because that's how we've played for so long, that it just made sense to link the D&D community with the crafting community, and that's what we've tried to do. And that really came to fruition when Reaper sponsored us, and we felt that connection with everyone. And we've been just, we had Christine on a month and a half ago, Bill, roughly, and Mike, Christine Van Patten on. And that was,
about a month. It was about a month ago.
Yeah. And so Dr. Faust, what I will do is next time I have an opportunity for a one-shotter with Mike and Taryn, I'll invite you on if you want to play in my old school game. It's
Yes. Don't say no, Doctor.
Why would I? I have to remember first edition. I cracked open the books, first edition, and I started reading it recently. And it's like, how the heck did I ever figure this out as a small child?
Jay will help you.
Charts
No
and
problem.
charts and charts.
You don't need to know any of that.
He eliminated most of that nonsense.
Yes, I do it all right with. So, for example, here's my log of characters, all the stats I need, everything there, and and I handle most of that. So, but we have fun with it. So I'll reach out, and if if you're available, then hey, so be it. We'll get you a character made up and all, and
Excellent.
playing with Skarn for the most part there. So thanks everyone for a wonderful audience tonight. I know we're gonna have to do the 3 giveaways. Remember, we're gonna do 2 prints for Mike Disney and Overgord. All right, 2 of these, and also since I had this lying around, let's do it. Fantasy Flesh palette from Reaper Miniatures, great sponsor. Yeah, so get you that.
Fantastic giveaways right there.
Thank you. So note, let me do my shout outs real quick. So I have probably a short stream week coming up. This is the end of our week. And normally we go Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. So let me flip back real quick here. We'll do this very quickly, I promise. So Wednesday night could be a controversial Legends and Lore. That's all I'm going to say. It's called Dragons of All Kinds. You can read into that whatever you want. Okay, I'm just I don't want to go beyond that now, but join myself, Anna Meyer, and Grey Hawk Mike Bridges for that discussion on Wednesday. We'll talk about. We're not going to go here. Anna's laughing in chat. So we'll talk about. We're not going to talk about specific dragons unless someone asks a question on legendary dragons in Greyhawk. But we'll talk about colors and things like that, and different ones you may find. Talk about Greyhawk dragons, and then talk about maybe all kinds of dragons. Hint, hint. Where that direction will go, anyone's guess is. But that will be Wednesday night, and then Thursday night, of course, is our Halloween special, Mysteries of the Overgord. What evils lie in the depths and shadows to be awakened. There you go. It's also an Infinite Dimensions giveaway, and Infinite Dimensions is a great 3D sponsor as well. And note the following: some really cool things, some compilation sets. The two giveaways. We're going to have the furniture bundle from them and the wall bundle. So some great 3D print STLs coming, for the giveaways on Thursday night. And then, if you don't know, Sunday night is Halloween, and trick or treating in our neighborhoods from like 5 to 8 on Sunday. And my son is dressing up as a stormtrooper. And believe it or not, I am dressing up as the Mandalorian. So we're going and we always dress up themed wise. We're going out trick or treating. So I don't know if there's going to be a Gabbin on next Sunday. There won't be a Gabbin next Sunday. I may move it to Monday. I may have it Monday, but right now in next week there's only 2 streams, Wednesday and Thursday. But then the week after,
how dare you?
I know. The week after is Mega Buku week, and note that November 6th there's 2 huge streams. Mike's playing in both of them.
Both of them.
You're crazy, Mike.
Oh, you're gonna be exhausted.
I'm crazy.
9 a.m. 9 a.m. The ever mysterious Tim DMs the Underdogs, which is his barbarian game, and Rovers of the Barrens, Wilderness of Pain. He always steps up on his titles, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And so that runs from 9 to around 2. So that's going to be a 5-hour stream. And then later that day is this. And I didn't even add Eric Mona to this list yet. Ed Greenwood, Tony Winslow Brittle, Anna Meyer, Stella Luna, Eric Boyd, Mike Disney, and Eric Mona himself. What a game that's going to be.
Saving the best for last.
Secrets in the Darkness. I may change that name too. The week after, another Saturday Night Special on the 13th. This will be a new player stream. So I have the Mandy, who's never played in my game before. Darling Creepshow, she's never played in my game before. Little Bones hasn't played in my game before. Neither is Myriad X. All 4 brand new 5e players that are playing in my old school game, along with Kayla, Tom Miller's wife. And I don't even put Josh Pop on here because he just, Zarathon because why would I? But I'm just kidding, Josh. If you're watching, so and that's what's going on in our world here coming up. We got a lot going on in November. Plus, I have promised a BattleTech stream game. By the end of the year, we will do a BattleTech stream probably on a Saturday night over the holidays.
Who's going to play that with you?
We're going to, I know Canadian Ancient Gamer Patrick's definitely in, and some of my own players if they can make it, and whoever else I ask in the audience who plays BattleTech.
Patrick's coming down?
No, he'll be remote, and that's easy to Zoom. BattleTech MechWarrior is easy to do on the table remotely. Because movement's very limited in that game, so we can do that definitely. We're going to do the drawings now, do the giveaways. Thank you everyone for hanging in there. Once again, Bill, thank you so very much. Mike, thank you. Dr. Faust, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's been a fun night tonight and discussion. Hopefully you got some out of this, everyone. And closing it out, let's do the 3 winners. Remember, you got to be on the claim. If you're not on, then you're not claiming right now. So here we go. Celtic, thank you. Alrighty, thank you, Anna. Thank you. I think we're going to raid into also Goodman Games because they're talking. They're editing. My gosh. I ask and I don't get. We're trying to find. Josh Pop's been trying to find someone to stream into, but I'm gonna have to choose someone else here. Closing it out. Here we go. The first winner is Curtis CBL. There you go, Curtis. Curtis, what do you want? Do you want the paints or do you want a Mike Disney sign print? You need to let me know. You're up first for choice. All right. So just let me know. I know I saw you on. Let me. You still on there?
Cathay, you're more than welcome.
Yep, Curtis is still on. Curtis, let me know what you want. Sign print, you got it. Next winner.
Oh snap!
Colpy's wife. That's funny. Colpy's wife, I believe, will want a signed print as well. So I'm going to put that down for Colpy's wife, who's on. Look at that. We got 96 people on. Thank you.
96 people.
That's last but not least, the third winner. Armin. Oh my gosh. So Armin, I'm going to send you a gift certificate because you're in New Zealand. So as long as Armin's on the claim, he will get it. And Lou, so I can't get rid of these paints, but yeah, I'm going to gift certificate you being all the way in New Zealand because I can't even imagine how much it would cost me to send this. So I'm going to gift certificate you and we'll hold on to them and give them out another time.
It costs you about $30.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to gift certificate you in US dollars over there. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to raid into.
Kayla's on.
Yeah. I know. I raided into her last week, though. I don't want to raid into her 2 weeks in a row. I may go into table. I'm going to go. You know what? We'll go into. No problem, Armin. And thank you for the support, everyone. And once again, we'll see you Wednesday night, and we'll see you Thursday night for this nice story. Let's set the raid up. I'm going to raid. I'll surprise you all. I'm going to probably raid into Tabletop Notch, one of my favorite game streams as well. So see you all Wednesday night. Thank you, all 3 guests. What a wonderful show. And keep it going. Keep the D&D playing, keep the crafting going, and please, if you're not a member of the communities, join a Discord, join a community somewhere, ask questions. Everyone is very nice in the crafting community and the D&D community, and have some fun with it. And yeah, on Lapcat, gotta love the Lapcat.
Lapcat, get it, Floof.
All right, we'll see you all shortly, and have a good night. And I gotta hit the right button here. Here we go. All right. See ya.
Bye.
All right, setting up the raid.
Wonderful stream as always, Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good.
Also, again, great to meet you. Dr. Faust. Incredible time.
Yeah, the videos are great. I tell you, they were a huge help for me.
Painting is amazing. Yeah, it's just all great stuff.
Lost the raid.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you Wednesday night.
Wednesday.
Yeah, for me, I'm on Wednesday next Legends of Lore. Right? It's my next time I'm on.